All right, guys, welcome back. We're here doing speed seduction with the dude, the man, Grandpa, Ross Jeffries. All right, guys. All right, let's get back into it. We left off on sexual accelerators, and we're just going to go back into what he says. So basically, he says another good sexual accelerator is a damn good kiss and a damn good touch. Kissing is not that big of a deal. Again, if your kissing is something you do at the end of the evening, and you've been programmed by movies, then you're going to fuck yourself up. You're going to block your own cock, okay? Now, he's right with the kissing and touching, but I want to point this out of what he says here about the movies, all right? You've been programmed by movies, then you're going to fuck yourself up, all right? I don't know what the hell he means by that, but I'm going to tell you, depending on what type of movies, he's probably talking about Hollywood. You can watch porn movies and learn a lot, okay? Men and women both can watch porn and learn a lot. So Hollywood, sure. If you're going to watch porn, you know, you're going to learn a lot. Hell, you'll even learn about fashion, okay? Back in the early to mid 2000s, I got all my fashion advice from porn stars, all right? So I'm just saying there's value in it other than the fucking, all right? Anyway, so it says sometimes the best accelerator is just getting physical. In terms of erotic touch, there are certain spots. There is the palm, the thumb, the back of the neck, and the small of the back, okay? Now at the end of this video, I'm gonna explain that we had a question from someone that submitted something that wanted to know how to turn a woman on. So I'm going to save all of this to the end of the video to address this question, okay? So we'll come back to that. If you want a good example of these, I have my Irresistible Arousal DVD, he says. I'm not buying that. I don't even want to fucking see that. So just know it's there. You'll see me demonstrating live with women in my seminars. I have taken one of his seminars, and I've seen some incredible shit from this old man, all right? Captain Kangaroo's not all crazy. I do want to emphasize how much they get turned on through my seminars. He's right, they did. That's a story for another time. But he's right, okay? It's something that's always ongoing, all right? I have no problem with kissing someone, but if you feel you need a setup, then here's what you do. You say, if you were to rate yourself as a kisser on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think you'd rate yourself? Do you hear that weasel phrase? If I were to, if they were to, are great weasel phrases, he says. I hate the word weasel phrase. Who the fuck likes a weasel? All right, no one. Who has a weasel as a pet? Nobody. If you were to walk outside your house right now, and you saw a groundhog, a gopher, a beaver, and a weasel, could you even tell the difference of all four of these? No, probably not. So let me change that up a little bit and say this. Challenging someone is very powerful, okay? Taking credit away from someone is very powerful. So I'm going to rework this a little bit. It's okay for me to say, rate yourself as a kisser 1 to 10, okay? So let's pretend that she comes back and she goes, oh, I'm a 10. I'm a 10, a 9, a 10, all right? That's going to be the answer that you're going to get most of the time, all right? You're going to get, I'm a 10. Okay, so when you get that response, you do this, okay? So how would you rate yourself as a kisser? Well, I'm a 10. No, really, how would you rate yourself? Do something like that, all right? You have negatively impacted their thought process of themselves by laughing at them for saying that they're a 10, okay? It doesn't matter what their answer is. You can do this with any of them. So the people that say 10, laugh at them. Say that you know what a 10 kiss is like, and she's probably not it. It's okay to tell her that. She's going to try to work hard to prove that she's a 10. which is exactly what you want. You want her to work hard for you, okay? You do. If she says that she's not good, so 0 through 6, then give her the cold shoulder. Don't laugh at her. She's used to that. If she truly is a 0 to 6, just give her the cold shoulder as if you're no longer interested based off her answer of that, okay? Then those types will also work hard to try to keep you in their attention span. Or I guess a better way to say it is you're interested in them still. They'll do things to try to escalate that, all right? So I like that. If he's wanting to do a kiss, that's a great open. I hand it to Ross, that's good. Now, if you have to rework stuff, it's okay to rework stuff. But I think that's pretty much stood the test of time, okay? If you were to rate yourself as a kisser on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think you'd rate? Then no matter what she says, you say, let's find out. You lean in and kiss her. Ross, that's bullshit. It's 2024. That will land your ass in jail or worse, okay? Don't do what this man says there. Listen more to what I said. Let that explore the conversation. But do not just lean across and say, let's see. That's scary, all right? Not scary for you. That's scary for her. Like, the fuck? All right, so don't do that. No. There's also what's called the triangle gaze, he says. With the triangle gaze, you look in one eye, you look in the other eye, you look down to her lips, you look in one of her eyes again, and then you lean in and kiss. I don't think kissing is a big deal. Again, I don't give a shit if it's a rectangle fucking, what is this? What a gaze. A triangle gaze. Rectangle circle gaze, don't give a fuck. All right, don't do that either. Don't look over here in that eye, then don't look over here in that eye, and then look down at her lips, and then back to the fucking eye. She's going to think you're having a goddamn stroke, all right? And not want to kiss that. So, again, don't do that. Now, what I do tell you to do, look for the other person to do that to you, okay? Look for people to look at your mouth when you're talking. Not because they can't fucking hear, but because they're looking at your lips. They're watching your lips move. Do you purse your lips when you talk? You know, it's okay to do that. Don't do it all the time. Don't go around walking like you'll look like, you know, an arte. Don't do that. So I would say if you see people looking at your lips, that's an indicator that they're interested in you, all right? So pay attention for that when you talk to somebody. That's one of your greatest indicators other than physical touch, okay? If they're touching you, blah, 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 you're in there. But look for people looking at your lips, okay? So fuck this little triangle gaze. I also want to introduce a few miscellaneous treats, he says. These are things I just didn't have time to bring up in any of the modules. They just didn't seem to fit, but they're fun, okay? He says they're fun. Let me talk a little about the phone game. All right, let's see about this phone game. Guys often say, I got the phone number and then she never called me back. What? Any behavior like getting her to give you her phone number is the wrong thing to aim for. You want to aim at getting her attracted and filled with desire. You want to aim at her emotional states. Let's say that you have a really good connection and for some reason you don't have time to accelerate and continue it then and there. You exchange information. How do you exchange information? I think you should use embedded commands, he says. You say, I realize I have to get going. You have to get going too. But I can see us hanging out and really enjoying ourselves. You're pacing the situation. So he's saying you're giving her something to think about by saying, I could really see ourselves hanging out and enjoying ourselves. All right, that's in his mind, he's getting her to think that. That's okay to use that. I don't like it in this instance. I'll tell you why. I don't like it in this instance. I'll give you a short example here in a moment. You say, I realize I have to get going. You have to get going too, but I can see us hanging out, he says. There's the command. See us hanging out. It's vague. Did I say that what we're going to do? No. Did I say I left it vague because our imagination will fill in the blank? That's good. That's okay, Ross. You did good there. Really enjoying ourselves is a little suggestion, and I nod my head as I do it. Okay, not 30 times, just little nod as you say it. So I'm going to tell you to do this. When I was in the military, there was a girl that I really worked around a lot. I liked her. And, well, I basically was trying to figure out how to approach this person. She was by far the hottest person I'd ever seen, okay? And for some reason, she decided she wanted to join the military instead of become a various platitude of modeling agency jobs that she could have done. And she had little tattoos on her hands, so I nicknamed her Hands, okay? Well, I couldn't quite figure out anything that I could come up with. She was probably 15 years younger than me, maybe 10. And I'm like, you know, I don't know, probably too old for her. And then I caught myself. I'm like, I'm psyching myself out here for no reason. I know how to do this. Why am I doing? Why am I second guessing myself? So an opportunity arose where I had to escort someone for a medical condition and had to fly away and take them to a hospital and be their escort. So what I did is I used what he's talking about here, which is a time constraint. That's what it's called, a time constraint. And I literally just walked up to her, and we had flirted a little bit back and forth, but not enough that I felt like, due to the fact I was in the military and had to be careful, I did not feel like was enough to have a conversation. Our schedules didn't match, nothing worked out. So I literally just walked up right before I was to fly off, and I said, I'm about to leave. I don't know if I'm coming back or when I'm coming back. I need your number now so I can get a hold of you, and we can continue whatever this is we're doing. And I laughed. Okay. So I did a lot of things there. Time constraint. I put stuff in her mind to make her think, oh God, I may never see this person again if she were interested. I hit her with it quick where she didn't have time to think about anything. And then I added some comedy at the end to really hammer home the point that this is okay. I said, so we can continue to do whatever this is we're doing, all right, in a joking manner. Now, skip ahead. It worked like a charm, all right? I waited like a week to talk to her. She was like, oh my God, I didn't think I'd ever hear from you, blah, 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 blah. All right, and I slept with her when I came back. And then I find out that she's married and has 2 kids. Long story. We may continue that second part of that story later, but basically the point of that whole thing was time constraints are very powerful if someone's interested in you. If they're not interested in you, they're not going to play along with your time constraint, and then you can move on to somebody else anyway. Okay? Okay. All right. I'm not saying how or where we're enjoying ourselves or what, but keeping it blank, she fills in the blanks, and she doesn't resist it. It seems to match. Sometimes women say to me, I don't know how you know exactly what I wanted you to do when we were hanging out. It was like you could read my mind. No, I didn't read your mind. Blanket ain't a fucking word. I blanked your mind and you filled it in. Let's say you get all that and call her. Often nowadays, you'll just get the voicemail. The message I leave goes something like this. Okay, again, guys, this is outdated as fuck. When's the last time y'all used a voicemail? Probably never. Great. Okay. Hey, Debbie. This motherfucker's obsessed with Debbie. Hey, Debbie, it's Ross. I don't know where you'll be when you get this message or what you'll be doing when you get it, but I do know that maybe you can remember the fun we had meeting and want to talk again. I'm at 555-6666. Why don't you give me a call and see if you can catch me? Again, Ross, that's creepy, okay? Creepy as fuck. Maybe in the 80s and 90s that worked, but that's just creepy as fuck, okay? All right. So, take a minute to parse this, he says. First, it's, hey, Debbie, it's your name, Ross, in his situation. You don't need an explanation of that. I'm assuming if you're smart enough to be watching this, you're not enough of a dumbass to need to explain that. Watch how I place this. I say, I don't know where you'll be when you get this message. That's a pace for the ongoing reality. It's also disarming. It says, I don't know. Who can argue when you say, I don't know where you'll be when you get this message? It's the pace, it says. Hey, you're somewhere. Obviously, she's going to be somewhere when she gets it. Okay? I don't like that part. And again, we don't leave fucking voicemails no more, so no one needs that. But then he continues to say, or what you'll be doing when you get this. That paces the fact that she has a life going on, but she's stopping to listen to your message. The implication is your message is important. Again, we don't care about this, okay? Did you catch how sneaky that was, he says. If she's doing something when she gets it, the implication, the mental image is that she's busy somehow. Yet she's taking the time to listen to the message. That implies very sneakily that the message and listening to it and therefore responding to it is important. So basically, he's just trying to say all these words to prove that his voicemail is important. Again, trash, throw it out. It implies that she's doing something, therefore she's busy. If she's listening to the message, it must be important. Therefore, returning the call must be important. I do know that maybe it's a disarmer. It's not saying you will or you can or you should. It's a maybe. It's just a possibility, or she's not going to resist it. All right. This video is going to go a few minutes longer because I want to finish this lesson, and then we got to get to the end of the video. Did I tell her what to select from that memory? Did I say, remember how I told you this joke about so-and-so and you laughed for 2 seconds? No, it's vague, and because it's vague, she's going to select the aspect of the memory that was the most fun for her. That's what she'll remember. This is the really simple one once you gets it. He's saying it's simple once you get it, but we'll see. From the outside, if you watched a guy doing this and saw the response the woman had, you'd think, this is magic. It's kind of magic, but it's really mechanics. There are certain principles of operation for influencing people. He's right, there are. There's steps that we take. When you get really good at this, you'll begin to see how people use it and naturally, basically what he's saying is when you get good at it, you'll see how you naturally use it. Now, here's a disclaimer. Once you start using these things, you're not going to be able to turn it off, even with your mother. Okay, so it's there. It's not going nowhere. You can remember the fun we had in meeting and want to talk again. You're telling her, again, how to interpret her remembering the fun of the meeting, okay? She could have the memory and still not want to do anything, but you're saying, want to talk again? That's an embedded suggestion. It's telling her how to interpret the train of thought she just had. I'm at 555-6666. That's just a statement. Then you say, why don't you give me a call and see if you can catch me? Look at that. There's a certain ambiguity there. It's not a phonetic ambiguity. There are a couple of things implied there. First of all, it implies that you're really busy. You're not sitting by the phone. That part's important, people. All right? You do not sit by the phone and wait on nobody, okay? And if you find yourself doing this, you sure as hell do not show them that you are waiting on them. Okay, can't. That's miserable, and nobody wants to be around that person. There is a movie called, it eludes me now. It's an Asian movie. If y'all remember what it is, please put it in the comments. But anyway, she sits around, she's psycho, and she kills this dude she's obsessed with. It's fucking nuts. Okay. Second thing is it sets the frame that you're a busy person. All right. She's going to have to work a little bit in order to get you. You want that. You're not saying it, I'm a very busy person, valuable person. I'm probably fucking a lot of women, so you're going to have to make some effort to get a hold of me. If you say it, it's resisted. But when you imply it, you blank her mind. She fills in the blank. She had the thought for herself, so it must be true. Because she thought it, it's pretty clever stuff. He's right. He's right there, okay? All of that is correct, still today. When you verbally say something like that man almost did when he just wanted to lean over and give somebody a kiss, and do something, is too much. But when you imply it, it does two things. One, it ain't creepy. And two, it almost seems like she came up with the idea, which is even better. The fact that she did that, okay? I think you might even begin to see the power of using these tools in the other areas of your life. Could they be useful for business and sales? Yes. Will I do a course on it? Yes, I'll let you know. Why don't you give me a call? See if you can catch me if you can. There's another ambiguity there. Does catch me mean catch me as a boyfriend, catch me as a guy, or get a hold of me on the phone? It's really clever. I think you can also see the power of combining all of these tools in a very short expression. It's only maybe 4 sentences. Look at how much we're using and working together. As I said in an earlier module, anytime you combine tools in a short period of time, you're on your way to victory, okay? Again, notice the pacing and disarming. Even though I'm powerfully leading and structuring this person's thoughts, I want them to always have the perception that they're participating in creating, or at least co-creating it for themselves. At least for the phrase in the seduction. Phase, not phrase. Phase in the seduction. Later on, when we're having sex, it's okay to be dominant and lead her to submit. Right now, I want her to get to the perception that it's completely comfortable. And it's all good. When I say, I don't know, it's disarming. It's one of my favorite things to say. Here are some of the other things that are miscellaneous, but they're just so much fun, I had to throw them in. I have a boyfriend. This is what I call the autopilot response. Women often have responses that are not for their real responses. It's just the first response coming out of their mouth. All right, we're going to stop because there's still some more, and I don't want this video to be 500 hours, okay? But before I wrap it up, the part when a girl has an auto response about, I have a boyfriend, girls are ingrained to say this to disarm dudes and get them to get the fuck away from them. Now, it's not that they want everyone that they say that to get away from them. It's not that. It's just they're so used to saying it up front that it'll just weed out some of the weirdos. Not all of them. The real weirdos stick around, okay? But when she says this, just who cares? Continue your conversation the same as you would if she didn't have a boyfriend, okay? No big deal. All right, so one of our YouTube friends, I think he's a subscriber, Mr. Sean Rollins. I'd like to thank you for reaching out. Sean Rollins had a question. On my last video, and I believe it was at the 10-minute, 44-second mark, he pointed out, I had talked about how Ross, oh, weirdo head here, told people how to turn, how he turned people on. And our good friend here, Sean Rollins, wanted to know, well, how do you do it, J.R. Longstrokes? How do you turn people on? Step one, it's situational. You have to go into this, Sean, knowing it's situational. If I tell you how to turn someone on, she could be a trash can and not be able to be turned on by anybody. All right, it's possible. You don't want to be able to fucking trash can, okay? So, know that it's situational, all right? Basically, let's go back to what Ross said that I said I would touch on about words, touch, stuff like that. There are areas on the female body, okay, that are erogenous zones, all right? I hate that fucking word. But they are zones where people just, hair stands up, fucking bumps on their arms, fucking waterfall of wetness, right? But most of them are around the neck, the ear. Some weird-ass people, the under part of their arms. Their palms are really good. That's a good way to start as far as trying to figure out if someone likes you. Just lightly touching their hand, come up with anything. Like literally, I'm a palm reader. Would you like me to read your palm? It doesn't matter if you can fucking read palms, just spout a bunch of fucking words. But while you're doing it, some light touches in the palms. Not too much, not the same shit over and over. Nobody likes that. But just a little bit. See how she responds and takes that. Now, Sean, the next thing. And the viewers, what do you think the most underappreciated and neglected part of the female body is? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think of an answer. Nope, you're wrong. All right, you're wrong. The most underappreciated and neglected part of the body of the female is the back of her knee. Okay, if you will apply the tongue and or soft fingertip touches to the back of her knee, not just straight to the knee, all right, but work around and then finally get it there into the back of the knee. Most women have never even been touched there. Most women probably don't even wash the back of their knee properly, so careful if it smells like tuna fish. But do it and watch. Watch what happens. It's amazing, all right? If the girl doesn't react at all, she's a psychopath, a fucking serial killer, and you should probably leave her, okay? So that's what I got for you, Sean. Situational, touches and words, okay? And if you need more, let me know. But I got to wrap this video up. We're about to hit 25 minutes. It's good being with you guys. Until next time, like, subscribe, ask me more questions. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers. I can live stream and really talk to you guys. So I think I'm at 9 right now. So if we get to 50, I'm going to live stream. We can have fun. Okay. All right, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Good luck.